Yes, didn't forget. Okay, gang. Hey, I'm gonna start rocking and rolling here because we got a lot of people to talk tonight. We do want to hear from you. It's Monday night, which means it's training night. So, Laura, I'm gonna let you just sort of start talking about the email that went out, and then I'll let everybody see if they can get that opened up and see if they have any questions. And then Wendy, we're gonna go to you. And you're next. Okay, go for it, Laura.
Great. Well, hello, everybody.
Hey.
Just wanted to make sure that everybody saw that Dave Hamill sent an email out to you today. And I know Dave Mostrin, he told me at 4 o'clock that he'd gotten his. So I'm hoping the rest of you have seen it. If you've seen it and opened it, then feel free to open it because it tells you how you're going to get your funds.
That's why I'm drinking.
Good. The process a little different this year, but it should hopefully work faster and better. We've got our grant funds really fast, so we want to get them to you so that you can start doing your projects. So if you have any questions, call Dave, call me, go on to the grants at Rotary.org, and we will be happy to answer. And if anybody forgets what your project was, because it was a while ago when you put them together, just let us know and we'll send you a copy. That's it.
Okay. So if you haven't opened it, and while you're sitting here, you can open that email. And if you have any questions, then Laura's going to stand by for a few more minutes to answer any questions. And if she clicks off, then Dave will be around and he can answer questions too. So I wanted to take a couple minutes, and some of you, Kelly, you had a question.
Just to clarify, Laura, there's no attachment to my email. So when you said open it, like I read the email earlier, but there's nothing that has like where
There's
we
no
send
attachment.
EFT or something. Okay.
It's just the letter, and it tells you basically it says to provide a copy, to put your matching funds in your bank, your separate bank account for grants, which everybody should have, and then take a copy of your bank statement, hopefully, or since the bank statement's not going to come out for a while, you can just make a copy of the deposit slip that you send the money into the bank, and a copy of the bank statement, and send that over to the grants at rotaryd5000.org. And Dave will pick that up and he will write the check. And in there it says, let us know whether you want the check mailed to you or if you want us to direct deposit it into your bank. We are willing to do one. Okay.
And that's Dave Hamill, not Dave
That's
Mostrin.
Dave Hamill, not Dave Mostrin.
If
Although
it's
Dave
Mostrin,
Mostrin,
you can send it to my Swiss bank account.
Okay, yeah.
The Cayman Islands.
Yes.
Laura, this is Carrie. So who did that email go out to? I don't.
To presidents-elect. Yeah, you might not have been on it. Sorry about
It went to foundation chairs,
Foundation
and
chairs,
treasurers. And
I'll forward it to you, Carrie.
treasurers, right?
Went to the AGs. Well,
So,
Yeah,
NAG, right.
Right. I'll forward it to you, Carrie.
It went
Thank
to
you.
everybody but Carrie Glass. How's that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's okay. Got it.
You're special, that's why.
I am special.
Okay, Karen's going to get a special forwarded email from Doug Adams. So, I mean,
Doug's good.
how
Doug,
special is how special
Doug
is
just
that?
doesn't like me. That's it.
Okay. So I'm going to turn it over for a few minutes now to Wendy, and Wendy's going to tell us a little bit about our Leadership Academy. I'm going to actually talk a little bit about that too. Some of you may know that one of the great things that we did this year is establish about an 8-month program for leadership in our district, and it's part of a kind of a multi-tiered thing, and I'm going to talk a little bit about it once we get rolling here. But Wendy's the dean of the Leadership Academy. So I just wanted to let her talk a few minutes about this, because you have to be a past president to be included in this or to be eligible. And because some of you are past presidents, will already be in it, but some of you will be a past president at the end of this year, and you can be in next year's class. So Wendy, it's on you.
Okay. Well, happy Labor Day, everyone.
Yeah.
I hope you guys are all ready to go back to work tomorrow, because it was a nice long weekend for me.
Yeah.
I see in the audience that there are a few of you that are in this academy, so that's wonderful. And I also see in this audience that there's a few people that have already talked about what I'm going to talk about. So my apologies if you've heard this speech before. And I haven't done any work this whole weekend, but for some reason I've started to lose my voice. But I'm really, really excited to be working alongside Naomi and Benson. Actually, we've been working for a little over a year to bring this new leadership training program to the district, and it's called the District 5000 Leadership Academy. This Rotary District 5000 Leadership Academy is a series of advanced Rotary leadership training for, like Benson said, past presidents. This academy is a part of Benson's comprehensive district training program that I think he's going to talk about a little bit more. But all of us as Rotarians, we can receive training through the year, you know, and at assemblies and at conferences. As president-elects and presidents, the training that you all have had to go through, that's considered a 100-level training. And then this academy is meant to be that next level of training, so the 200-level training. And our hope is that in the future, we will roll out a 300 level. So what is the District Leadership Academy? Over the next several months, Academy participants will take part in a comprehensive leadership training series designed to train a select group of Rotarians to be effective leaders, we hope in their clubs, we hope one day in their district, and then even in their careers and their personal lives. We believe that this is not just another training program. We hope that this is going to be a holistic view at what it takes to be a leader. So there will be monthly training sessions, one-on-one mentoring, and we think that the fellowship from the participants in the cohort, all collectively, that will make our participants grow into really strong leaders that one day is going to be leading our district and maybe even beyond. Each training session, each training session will be taught virtually by skilled district leaders. But what's really, really exciting is Naomi is like pulling out all the stops, calling all her favors in, and we have all these really great Rotary International leaders coming into our virtual sessions. So it's going to be quite, the sessions itself will be really outstanding. Participants are given homework assignments to do prior to each session, and they will also receive one-on-one mentoring every month from a past district governor. Participants will then graduate at the district conference, where they will be recognized for their achievements. So we are full. We are very, very excited to have a full roster of 12 participants. If you would like to, we'll be sending out a release on all of them, but if you'd like to get a sneak peek, you can go to the District 5000 the District 5000 website and look for Leadership Academy, and we have all 12 participants listed there. Our hope is that all of you, I actually see some of you in here that we're already looking at for next year. So our hope is that all of you will consider being a part of a future Leadership Academy. We look forward to working with all of you in the future. So are there any questions for me or for Benson or Naomi that I think are on the call?
I have two questions.
Sure.
First of all, is the Leadership Academy, is completion of the Leadership Academy required if you want to do anything at the district level?
No, it is not required. And we actually had a question before, is it going to be required before you even become district governor? And at this point and in the foreseeable future, that is not going to be a requirement.
Okay.
Down the line, perhaps that might be something, but not something right now. It's
Okay.
just simply here to provide extra leadership training for people that want to serve in the district. But as Benson and others have said, it will provide an opportunity, though, for our district governor line to pull people from this academy to fill their cabinet or to fill their positions. Does that
Okay.
answer your question? And I don't know if Naomi and Benson, you want to jump in with something else?
Go ahead, Naomi. Naomi, go ahead.
It's not required, but the information will really help a person develop as a district person. So to be district governor, you need to know so much. So if anybody is on that track to be, who wants to be considered for district governor, you should take these classes because it's at a 201 level. You'll get some information that you normally won't get in a webinar. So we highly encourage it.
Okay. And the second question is, I'm going to be blunt. I'm on a neighbor island, and a lot of times neighbor islands get the short shrift. We do.
Sure.
What is being done here to keep that from happening?
So one of the positives of being in a pandemic is all of our sessions are virtual. And so we are very excited to have representation from 4 different islands. Naomi, I'm sorry, I always get this number wrong. But we do have representatives from different islands. And because the sessions are virtual and the mentoring sessions will also be virtual, we don't see there being any, and you have Benson who's on the Big Island. So Benson, do you want to?
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is that because it's virtual now, we can pull in instructors from RI, from mainland districts and zones, and so we're not limited to just the people in our districts. As far as instructors go, so that's kind of a cool thing. I'm going to get kind of more into sort of the leadership levels and the stuff that I'm going to go over today. But I will tell you, it's part of a comprehensive plan to get a higher level of training at every level, from a person who walks into Rotary and says, wow, this is a great organization, and someday I would like to be the head of this or the district governor, that there is a path set out from day one so that that person can take a series of coursework and be mentored and be taught so that they could develop that level of leadership. So yeah, I hope everybody participates.
But on that, I mean, along that line, is there a flow through to our clubs who we think should be starting on a leadership track? Because it's somewhat limited what we can do. So I'm just wondering, with Zoom technology and everything else, can it be more inclusive on some of these trainings that maybe are more general than specific?
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, the stuff that I'll go over today, I mean, we're doing probably more training now than ever done before. I mean, we have stuff. I mean, I get with Naomi every week, and we go over all the different trainings that are being done. And I'm going to actually, in the presentation that I'm going to do, I'm just going to flash you a spreadsheet of just the stuff that we have on the calendar as of today. And we're adding stuff on more and more. And those trainings really are really open to really anybody at any level. I'm sure that, Laura would love to have like new people click into her foundation trainings. We have now welcome to Rotary sessions where new people can just click in and get some basic ideas about Rotary. We have a Rotary 101 training, of course, and then we have, if you get into leadership, there's a whole slew of stuff that you can do. So I'll talk a little bit more about that, but the whole idea is to develop Rotary, our district, into the place where people come to get leadership training. Much the same as, if somebody wants to learn to be a good public speaker, where do they go? Everybody knows that you go to Toastmasters because that's what they do. So in the same vein, what we want to do is say, wow, if you're a young person or a person that's always wanted to be involved in leadership, you can join Rotary, and we have a path actually that will take you from, you know, the new person coming in day one, that could take you all the way up to being the district governor, which is basically equal to being the CEO of a, you know, of an organization, of a statewide organization that has 53 offices and 1,500 employees. So that's a pretty good achievement for anybody. And even if you don't end up being the district governor, we feel like the training and the experience that you get will help you in whatever endeavor, whatever industry or work situation that you're in. So anyway, any other questions about that before I turn it over to Naomi? Wendy, thanks a lot. I mean, as always, you nailed it. And so, yeah, plus, you know, Wendy's like super efficient, so she has all the stuff all put together.
Right.
So that's why she's doing that and not me, because
And what I did want to say is, like, coming off of what Benson's saying, Benson has, as I was saying earlier, he has created such a comprehensive, Benson and Naomi have created such a comprehensive training program. And really, this is the first time that the first time they were rolling out this 200 level, but we hope that we're kind of looking at next year too, at, you know, to fill the pipeline. So if there are people that are presidents this year and are interested, you know, shoot us an email and we can keep you updated. We want to start filling that pipeline for next year already, and kind of just start looking for people. So anyway, thank you for your time. Happy
Wendy,
late.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah,
Dave had a question. So
yeah, Wendy, if
Yes.
you're currently president, but you were past president, so this is my Hanaho year, does that mean you're qualified, or is it because the workload is?
No. So as long as you were a past president, then, and if you're currently a president, you still qualify.
Okay.
Which Dave? There's a lot of Daves. Which
Yeah.
Dave?
Dave Mosgren.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because I
Dave
think we have
Mosgren.
2 Daves in our academy this year.
Yeah,
Too many Daves then. I'll wait.
yeah, Dave.
Yeah.
D-Moz. We got to give everybody like their
They just call me Moz.
name. Yeah,
Okay.
the Mozman. Okay, so
Benson can answer any of your questions as well, but thank you for your time.
okay, thanks, Wendy. Thanks for coming on.
Bye. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right. Hey, Naomi, it's on you now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, a couple of things for, thank you, Laura, for getting our district grant timeline on track, but it's because all of you guys helped. And so, you know, for years we've been trying to get all of the reports and things and chasing for reports. And so thank you, you guys got the message that in order to get this money early in time for you to do your projects, because remember, you cannot have any receipts that are dated before the date that we're approved now for grants. So that's why it's really important to get the final grant reports in on time. So they are due on May 31st. Okay, and so we wanted to, in Dave Hamill's message, was to give you some tips on what we're looking at. And when we do the grant management webinar in October, we'll go over all of this again and go into detail on what the MOU, the financial management report that all of you guys signed, what it says in those documents so that we can all be in compliance. Okay, so thank you everybody for helping us get on track and getting that money in early. Okay, so that's one. On you know, to Rick's comment about people getting shortchanged, we want to make sure that whatever you guys need, we can give you, you know, webinars and training that you need. We don't want anybody to be short trained. And that's why we have the island resource team, so that you have more people on the island to help you. So AGs, please, when you work with your presidents, please find out what they need and let's do it. So Dennis's question on parliamentary procedure, Dennis, we were thinking of doing that, and we probably will do it when we do the board training. So that's probably, Benson's going to be spring training, right?
Yes.
Maybe, or could be for the PEs. Maybe we should invite everybody to that one, right? Okay, so Dennis, thank you for that. We have that in our list to either do Robert's rules or parliamentary procedure, probably Robert's rules. Okay, so we need to select the representative from the different islands to be on the nominating committee. The nominating committee is the one who hears the candidates for district governor. And so the policy manual was changed so that we have a person from every island, and to be qualified to get into the pool to be drawn, you need to have participated in the awards program. So the AGs will need to think of a number, and the number associated with that club that submitted things for the awards program will be the one, the club, the past president be sitting on that nominating committee. Okay, so I want to read, I want to make sure that we have everybody in the pool that should be in the pool that submitted. So this is for if you submitted the district governor citation or the checklist for the avenues of service that that Eric sent out, or if you also qualified for the 3 categories that you didn't have to submit anything. So that would be percentage membership growth, per capita, so the highest per capita, the runner up and the winner of the per capita, highest per capita, and also the annual giving dollar amount. Those clubs are also included in the pool. So Ted, you're the AG for Kauai. So for Kauai, we had West, the clubs that are being considered in the pool are West Kauai, Poipu, and Hanalei. Are there any other Kauai clubs that should be in this pool?
Not that I know of.
Okay, so Ted, give me a number from 1 to 3.
3.
3. Okay, so West Kauai is going to represent Kauai. So West Kauai. Okay, Big Island, there was just Hilo. So any other Big Island club that should be considered in this pool?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, so sorry, Doug, you don't get to pick because, okay, you can pick, but it's
I pick 42.
You can only pick 1 or 1. So which one?
1 or 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's Hilo. Hilo, the past president for Hilo would be the one to represent Hilo. So on Oahu, we have Kahala Sunrise, E Club of Hawaii, Honolulu Sunset, Waikiki, Honolulu Sunrise, Metro, Hickam Pearl Harbor, Waiwa, Wailua, Waianae, Windward, Oahu Sunrise, Downtown, West Honolulu, and Eva Beach. Any other Oahu club that should be in there? No. Okay, so AGs Dick, Mark, Kathleen, Wes, and Scott. Between 1 and 13, hold up your fingers. What number do you pick?
Fingers.
Okay, there's a 4, a 3, and a 2. Okay. That's an 8 and a 5. Oh, come on, you guys. You gotta come up with what number?
How do you do 13 with your hands?
Okay, so go maybe, oh, is that 13? Oh, was that what you meant, Mark? That's 8, okay. So we've got 8. Okay, hold up your fingers again. We've got 8, 2, Dick, 4 with Mess, okay, 3 for Dick, Scott, where's Scott?
Well, I had 5.
Okay, oh, you guys all had different numbers. Okay, so between 2, 4, 5, 3, and 8. Okay, now pick one of those numbers. What is that? 8. So that's an 8, a 5, a
Why don't they just text you?
5. 2 and a 5. Okay, so we got 3 5s. So AGs for Oahu is 5 the number? Yes? Okay, so number 5 is Honolulu Sunrise. Honolulu Sunrise will be on that committee. Okay, Maui, we've got Kihei Wailea, Wailuku, Lahaina Sunrise, Lahaina Sunset. Any other Lahaina club that should be on here?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, so Kwanzaa and Mariko, what number do you pick between 1 and 4? 2, and where's Kwanzaa? Kwanzaa, where's Kwanzaa? Kwanzaa, what number did you have?
Said 4 in chat.
Oh, 4. Okay, so you guys decide, is it 2 or 4?
I will leave it to Kwanzaa because 3 out of 4 clubs are in my clubs. So I will leave it to Kwanzaa.
Okay, so Kwanzaa's picking 4, so 4 is Wailuku. Okay, so those are the 4 representatives to the nominating committee, which is going to be on November 7th on Oahu. The district will pay for the airfare to Oahu unless we're not able to fly or there's a quarantine, and then we might have to go with Zoom. But each of those 4 need to also pick an alternate if they cannot make it, and it needs to be a past president. Okay, so the person represented in your club, those 4 clubs is the past president of the club. Okay, thank you everybody. Thank you. Okay, Benson, take it away.
All right, cool. Did everybody know just what happened right here?
No.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're trying to not.
What I get myself into without a vote.
Yeah, I know.
I wasn't even here.
Yeah, I know. Well, if you're not here, man, you're gonna get voted in. Okay.
It's just like picking judges for the Supreme Court, except completely different, right?
Yeah. Okay, gang.
So we're going to do this at the district conference in May. So because we didn't have a district conference, we couldn't do this, and so that's why we're doing it by Zoom.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, I was on this committee last year, and I don't remember it being that confusing. So, okay, good that we got past that. Okay, so tonight's gig, gang, this isn't gonna take that long. So, 2 things I want to address tonight. Okay, one, I'm gonna give you the overall leadership picture, and some of you who have been on the club trainer presentation, you have seen parts of this. And the other thing I want to address tonight is this whole Holomua thing that I brought up a couple of months ago. It's really about trying to move on, and in all of the surveys and stuff and the feedback that we're getting, pretty much across the board, everybody has the same question. You know, what do I do now? How do I make my club grow? You know, how do we do all the stuff that we were supposed to do, but can't do it because we're not meeting? So, so I've been thinking long and hard about this, and I've been watching some of the clubs out there, and I'm gonna basically give you an idea that I think the clubs that are moving, and there are a number of them that are, this is what they're doing, and it's a simple, really simple thing. So let me share screen here, and then we'll rock and roll. Okay. Everybody see that?
Yes.
Well, if you can't see that, let's see. Slideshow. Okay, so we were talking about this whole Holomua thing that I had made a presentation about, and it's really about how to move forward. So I'm going to talk first about where we're going as far as leadership goes. So a lot of you know that I took on this district trainer position, and I said that I would do it for 5 years because I really felt like it would take that long to really entrench into where we're going as far as training goes, because everybody who is in any kind of work today or any kind of organization They know that every organization is a reflection of its leadership and its training. So typically, if you have good leadership, it's because you have good training. And for me, as I look out in Rotary, Rotary has amazing training, but it is there's a lot of it, and it really has to be sort of whittled down so that it's usable, and so that people at wherever your club sits can take it and kind of go with it. What we started talking about, Wendy and Naomi and I, Sandy Matsui was in the conversation, Randy Hart, was who are we, and what do we want to be known as far as an organization? Now, everybody pretty much knows that Rotary does service and they do fellowship. But what we wanted to do was we wanted to create an identity for leadership, because what we're seeing out in the community is that there are a lot of young people and even older people that have never been in a leadership situation or position. They want to learn how to do that or develop that skill level. Or maybe they have always had a leadership position, but never really had any training in that. They've been sort of thrust into a leadership position because, you know, over time, they sort of emerge as a leader, but they'd like to know more about leadership. So as I said earlier, part of our design is to be the organization that people look at in terms of, you know, if I want to develop my leadership skills in a public or community environment, where would I go to do that? And we want people obviously to come to Rotary. All right, so besides the club president, club trainers are going to play a really crucial role in doing this, because it's about, and I've used this term before, it's about developing Rotary IQ. And Rotary IQ is basically your knowledge level about Rotary. Because look at the people that are on the screen as you're looking through all these little pictures on the screen. These are people that have a lot of knowledge about Rotary. And the fact that they do have a lot of knowledge about Rotary, it helps them to engage at a higher level. So my belief is that the more people know about Rotary, the more they're engaged with Rotary. So that's why getting every club a club trainer is going to be really crucial to getting leadership and also training, and which means more engagement into our clubs. Okay, so part of what the 5-year plan is basically is to develop some continuity and consistency as we try to grow our organization to be really leaders in the community. Okay, so here's the plan basically. All right, so our entry level is, we're talking about, you know, basic what we're going to call the Rotary Basic Certification. So this little slide you see here that says Rotary Basics, if you're familiar with this brochure, it's 44 pages with basic information about Rotary. If you don't have this pamphlet, I've got the PDF version of it. Just put it down on the chat that says, please send me one of these. I'll send it to anybody who wants one. Okay, feel free to distribute this to every single person in your club. And this brochure, if you haven't seen it, it's more like a booklet. It just has basic stuff like, you know, what's the purpose of Rotary? What's Rotary's objective? Who is, you know, who started Rotary? How is Rotary divided around the world? How many clubs there are? All of those kinds of basic things that people who are in Rotary should know that. Now, at the club level, you know, it's sort of varying levels of how people address this. Some people, they have a real good orientation as a new member, some not so good. So we started doing this thing called Welcome to Rotary, basically for for new members or for people who are just thinking about wanting to become involved in Rotary. So this, this entry-level Rotary Basic Certification, I'm gonna start this probably in a month or two, probably October, through all the club trainers. And it's basically, you know, a simple kind of open book exam. I don't really want to call it exam. It's just 25 questions basically that you answer about Rotary. And so the district or the club trainer administers it. You know, we expect everybody to pretty much pass it. You send it into the district, and we just keep track of everybody that kind of passes this Rotary Basic Certification. So that is step number one, and it launches you into 100 level, which allows you basically to participate as a board member, as a committee chair, as a president-elect. And those of you that are presidents now, obviously, right? This 100 level, there's a lot of information to learn there. So basically that 100 level is a group that that manages the leadership of our clubs. So this 200 level, which is past presidents, assistant governors, district leaders, this is a level of training that is designed to create district leaders or people that participate in the management of our district, right? So, you know, we're gonna have 12 people do that. We have a lot of positions at our district level. And typically in the past, we basically just kind of called on past presidents to step up and take a position within the district. Now we've actually got a training program that will help people to develop the knowledge, the background, the information they need to be a leader at the district level. The 300 level, which we're designing now, which is basically district governor training, somebody that wants to be a district officer, even advance into zone leadership, which is beyond district leadership. These are people that are serious, that want to get to this level, that have aspirations to become a district governor someday, or like I was saying earlier, really a CEO level person. So at this level, we're hoping not just to bring in past district governors, but people at the RI level, CEOs of our local companies that can come in and give perspective about managing a large organization with a lot of people in it, you know, many sites across the state. So it's really something. I mean, to be the district governor of of a district like District 5000, it's really something, because like I was saying earlier, you're managing you know, over 50 clubs, 1,500 members, and a statewide organization. So that is kind of our leadership development plan. And as we go through it, we'll tweak it. And so it'll take probably, you know, 3 or 4 years to really get it fine-tuned. But we expect that down the line that if you're going to be a district governor or you aspire to be, then you will have to take this coursework, so that we know that everybody that applies for district governor has had at least this level of coursework behind them. Because right now, I mean, I think the only requirement, I think, is you have to be a Rotarian 5 years or 6 years or something like that. But, you know, other than being a past president, there's a wide variety of experiences in there. So we'd like to kind of standardize that. Okay, so that's that. One of the things we're trying to do in our training is to help clubs sort of identify who they are. And it's kind of a simple process, and I'll walk you through it. Because, you know, if you want to set vision and goals for yourself, you have to know who you are. And every club has a very unique identity. Like, we're South Hilo, right? We're the club that does Hilo Huli. We're the club that rings bells at Christmas time. We're the club that goes out and puts up these the rescue tubes. So all of the stuff that we do, we've kind of defined ourselves as the club that does that. And in our Hilo area, every club has a sort of unique identity. And once you put that identity in, you can see, all right, this is what we'd like to do. This is what, this is how we see ourselves. Then you can set goals to try to achieve that. Now, goals, as you know, everybody sets goals, hard to achieve them if you don't have a date, like a deadline when this thing is due, and somebody who's driving it. And I've become really big on this date and driver concept, because if you're like me, who sits in a lot of meetings, they talk about a lot of things, but at the end of the meeting, no dates have been set and no drivers have been assigned, you already know, right? Nothing's going to happen. It's just not going to happen, right? Somebody's got to be in charge of it, and somebody's got to be driving it, and then there's got to be a date this thing's got to be done. Okay. And then the third thing is we want to try to offer consistent training. So this is just a smattering of the stuff that we're doing. So we're doing more training now than we've ever done before. You know, mostly because, you know, we can do it all online now. And I tell you, this is just a piece of it. And we've got stuff that'll go all the way into next year. So we have to consistently put training out there to increase everybody's Rotary IQ. Okay, so that's kind of the plan leadership wise. I wanted to throw that in there. I'm trying actually, okay, all right, here we go. All right, so let's go to like, all right, what's a simple plan we can all follow that'll help us to kind of move on? All right, the key drivers of the plan: club president, club trainer, president-elect. Okay, why is the president-elect involved in it? Because it takes a long time. Like, you know, coming out of this whole pandemic thing, it's not going to be over in December. It may not even be over by by the middle of next year. So this whole transition piece, as we're seeing now, the president-elect, once they start to get their training, we're already trying to transition this person like around April. Okay, so whatever is going to happen within the club, the key drivers of it has to be these three people. Okay, so let's see. Okay, there's 5 steps to this thing, right? So the first thing is you got to shore up your core group. And so who is the core group? Okay, in every club, there's a core group. And the core group is the people that show up, that they are not going to let the club fail. Okay, they could be in the club for 50 years, or they could be in the club for 1 year. All right, like this happens to be part of our core group. Now, we don't have that big of a club, 37, 38 now, but we have a core group of about 25 people, all right, that they'll show up. If we call them, they're going to show up. They're not going to let the club fail. And so what happens to these clubs that are floundering is that this core group gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And then when you're down to 1 or 2, and the 1 or 2 can't happen, now you're looking at maybe a club has to close, or it can't go forward. All right, so if you're a president right now, and you can see that, like maybe your core group is just your board, and there's 8 of those people, that you gotta shore that up. You gotta start calling people and say, all right, who else is in our core group? And if you're the president, you gotta call them out and say, hey, you know what? We're shoring up our core group. I'm calling you because you're part of that group. And so that they can identify, so that they know, hey, I'm part of the foundation of this club, and I'm part of the group that is not going to let this club fail. All right, that's an important piece, because right now a lot of clubs are out there, they're floundering. They don't know, are we coming, are we going, who's in, who's out, who's coming to the meetings, who's not. Shore up that core group. Okay, the second thing is that you got to call people out to a club assembly, get everybody together. All right, so here's the key piece. And I got Carrie Glass on the call because Hilo is super good at this, right? They establish a regular call team that stays in touch with your members. All right, and if you don't have that going, then you got to get that going so that you can keep your club together, right? Because you have to reach out and start talking to people. Use your board. If your club is small enough, if you only got a few people in your club, the president and the president-elect got to got to call these people out and say, look, we got a plan. We're going to have a meeting Tuesday at noon or whenever your meeting is. Everybody's got to be there. Okay. And so we're going to lay this out. You guys want our club to go forward. We want our club to grow, to expand, to hold together. It's all hands on deck right now. Okay. So call them all out. Okay. So third thing, once you get everybody together, right? So this is the whole Holomua piece, right? How do we go forward, right? So make a list of everything your club has done. All right. You can do that ahead of time. Okay. Make a list of the things that your club is known for. Okay. Every club has an identity. They're known for something. Your fundraising, your auction, you know, you guys are the club that picks up rubbish on the highway. I mean, whatever it is. Okay. And then add to that list how you want the public to see your club. That's your club's identity. Now, without that, really hard to make goals for your club. Okay. Really hard to set up processes to achieve those goals if you don't know what your club will do, right? Because it comes down to really like, all right, hey, club members, what are you guys willing to do? All right, so everybody want to stay home now? Okay, so how are we gonna serve our public if we're all gonna stay home? Bunch of different ways to do it, right? So right now on the Big Island, we're seeing, you know, opportunities where we can deliver meals, right? So we don't have to be around anybody. There's a project that we're going to start with the Department of Health, just basically doing mask surveys where we're just sort of standing there and counting people with masks on. There's Grammy training where you're going to reach out and talk to people. All kinds of opportunities, right? Based on what your club wants to do. Kind of comes down to, you know, what are you willing to do? Okay, so here's the simple piece, right? Is that whatever your club decides, you won't be successful at it if it doesn't involve talking to people. All right, because you're in Rotary today because somebody actually talked to you. Now you can text people, you can send them an email, you can make them a little video, you can send them a YouTube link, whatever it is. But people won't respond, I mean, the way you want them to respond, unless you talk to them, right? So when people are emailing me, well, how do we get new members? Well, do you talk to people? Do you call people? Like we just inducted a new member into our club, Debbie Ono, right? Now, Debbie Ono is a member in our club because Glenn Uekawa talked to her. He said, Debbie, you should look at Rotary, man. This is an awesome group. She came in, you know, did a couple of our virtual meetings. You know, last week, Naomi was in our meeting and she inducted Debbie as a new member. So you can still get new members, right? Okay, so there'll be no activity or growth in your club unless people are willing to talk to other people. And that's kind of the bottom line. I know that sounds super simple, but like what's happening now is people don't really talk to people anymore. Not, you know, they don't call people anymore, right? They text them, they email them, they do something else besides talk to them directly. So that's the key piece for me. All right. And then establish, like I said earlier, establish dates and drivers. You can set goals so you gauge your process and and realize, man, this thing's gonna take time. Like there's no magic pill, magic bullet where, you know, hey, just do this one thing and it's all gonna be successful. It takes time and you're gonna have to be ready to adapt and adjust. You know, the club has to be involved in this regularly. So if you say, okay, gang, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start talking to each other, and then every week when we have our meeting, let's just kind of report back or give people a chance to talk at the meetings. You know, now that we're having these online meetings, sometimes if people log in, right, they don't turn their camera on, so you're not even sure they're there, and you know, they don't get a chance to participate. So if you're the president, call these guys out. I mean, you know, maybe you only have 6, 8, 10, 12, whatever. If you have a big group, you know, like if you're all in one and you got like 50 people, start breaking them into breakout rooms immediately. So some of the guys I was on some meetings in California. You come in, you log onto the meeting, they immediately put you into a breakout room that has only like 3 or 4 people. And so then you can talk, right? So create opportunities where people can talk to each other. That's the key piece right there. And it just really comes down to, right, well, what are you willing to do? So if you guys are willing to talk to each other, to call out to other people, it can be done. So let's see. And that's basically it. So I'm willing to take any like feedback, any ideas, any questions about it. I'll send this presentation to anybody who wants it. I've recorded it, so it'll be available as soon as Naomi uploads it. And that's basically it. And you know, I know this thing sounds super simplistic, but there are clubs in our district that are moving, and they're moving because they are talking. Okay, I'll go back to Hilo one more time, because they have a team that calls people every freaking week, right? And so that's why they have 50 people at their meetings. Okay, and it's
Vincent, can I just speak up on the call people thing?
Yes.
I work.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many times a Rotarian has rung my phone at 9 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, and they just hit me and go, they're going. And personally, I don't appreciate that.
Okay.
I would rather be communicated to via email or text, because then I have the opportunity to reply when I have the time to reply. So I think you're actually looking at something that is really appealing to a much older population. And if Rotary has chance of success, we need to go after younger people. And I'm going to say that, and I'm also going to tell you that in our club, last year we inducted 4 members who are all under the age of 40, and we currently have 2 members that are coming in who are under the age of 40. So we're doing something right, and I'm not reaching out and I'm not calling people. I'm not doing that. So the idea that you're putting forth this, you know, this is what you need to do, I strongly disagree. You need to be visible in the community. You need to give people volunteer opportunities, and you need to communicate with them in a way that works for them, not the way that works for you.
Okay.
That's what a leader.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that 100%. Some people don't like to get called. All right. But all I'm saying is that, you know, for the people where that works, if you're not communicating with each other, or if you're not at least putting it out there, right? Somebody like a new member, you might be able to send them a text message or an email and convince them to come to a meeting, but somebody at some point's got to call them, right? And at least say, "Hi, I'm Rick. I'm the president. Would love to have you at our meeting," right?
Yeah, you know,
First thing you're going to do is send them an email that says, "When's a good time to chat?"
Great.
As opposed to calling them at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
because
Rick,
that's rude.
Great.
not everybody gets,
Yeah.
Rick, not everybody. This is Kerry Glass, and I'm with the Rotary Club of Hilo, and it's our club that does this calls. And mainly what it is, it's to reach out to the members that we haven't seen, and most of them, Rick, are older members. They're older, established members who have not been to any of the Zoom meetings when they had them. When we had in-person meetings for about a month, they didn't come to those. And so it's to reach out to them and say, "How are you? How you're doing?" This wasn't really an exercise to reach out for new ones. So, you know, you can't, it isn't one size fits all. And
Well,
I'm
that's
sorry,
exactly what I'm
don't
saying.
like-
And thank you for your clarification, because what Benson put out was call people. And I'm saying that doesn't work for everyone. And it certainly does not work for the younger generation.
Well, it obviously doesn't work for you. And again, you know, our specific thing on reaching out to people is to reach out to the older term members who we haven't seen around. You know, it's one thing bringing in members, new members, but it's another thing is to keep the old established members, keep them engaged, keep them excited about Rotary. And you got to reach out. Now, are they calling them at 9 o'clock in the morning? I don't know. A lot of the people that are on the team also work, that are on the call team also work. So they're probably doing it more in the evening when it's really inconvenient and you're having dinner. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Okay.
you can't You've got to do a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so the point is that it isn't, and I'm sorry if it came across as like, one size fits all. My main message was that, communicate with each other, talk to somebody. It's kind of like I've been a salesman my entire life, and I never sold anything where I never had to say one word to somebody. So it's more about expanding the club, keeping in touch with each other. If that works for your club, because every club has a pretty unique identity, and if it doesn't, Rick, it doesn't work for your club, it's okay. It's okay. If it works for Carrie's club, that's good. All right. So Naomi, let me turn it over to you because I know you have a couple things you need to finish up before we hit 8 o'clock.
Well, the whole point of the Holo Moa is to see how the club can adapt. Okay, what works for your club? So all of these are ideas, even core group. If everybody in the club is in the core group, then it's good. But having a core group and it is excluding people does not work. So the whole point of the Holo Moa is to talk about what works, what should we be doing, and how can we get to that vision. So it's not one size fits all. It depends on what works for your club and what the members want. What is the value for the members, and what is the culture of your membership? So everybody's point is right on, but the whole thing is is that discussion within the club to see what it is that we need to do. What is our culture? So if the club is asking for how do we grow, then talk about how do we grow. Because it's not going to be one way or another way that you have to do it. It's going to be what works for you. Okay, so that's something to remember on what works for you. And if, so in the Hilo Club, for instance, it's not the president calling, it's other people calling. So how can you use the assets that you have in your club to make it more inclusive, that people are doing things and people are engaged in your club? But that point about engagement is either you call them, you touch them, you email them, it's some way of touching them. So we wanted to make sure that you understood that we're not telling you one way works with everything. It's you need to find out what's going to work for your club and move forward, come up with an action plan. So the vision is for next year or 5 years down the road. The action plan is what are you going to do now? What are you going to do in 6 months or next year? And that's why the PE is going to be really important to carry the mission out, because it shouldn't be that you're changing it every year because of the president. The club belongs to the club, right? So that's why this year we want to make sure that we help you transition the PE into the club's leadership. So inviting them to your meetings, inviting them to the president's meeting helps them prepare for their year. So they're going to be starting the training. So first of all, we have the grants management in October where the PEs need to learn how to do the grants. Then we have the president-elect training that usually starts in November. So Benson's going to get involved with that. But remember how we needed to take these webinars and learning center things to get ready for pets? Well, same thing. So if you can help your PE understand what they're reading, if they have any questions, and be their mentor, that would be really good. And then in April, when you're starting to really transition in that new incoming team, we really ask that you work with them and get that it's a smooth transition, so that July 1st, they already have their board set, their budget set, their calendar set, and they can take off in July. So really need everybody's help and all of your experience from the webinars. Invite anybody you want to those to the webinars. Even non-Rotarians can come to some of those webinars. It's open, so that's why we give out the list, so you can invite whoever you want, and just give that list to your whole club and ask them if they want to attend. Okay, so it's not exclusive, it's inclusive. We want to make sure that it's an opportunity for anybody to raise their Rotary IQ, as Benson says. Okay, so it's a top of the hour already, but really, we really want to thank all of you for being here on a Monday night. And Benson, Benson, move your head and see what time it is in Boston. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. So thank you, Benson. Thank you, Benson, for being here.
Oh yeah, no
But
problem.
all of you who are here, thank you for your dedication to Rotary and what you're doing for your club, because you guys are on the front line. You guys are doing the work of Rotary, and that is what Rotary is about. So any last minute questions?
I have one. Just as,
When?
I think one of the biggest challenges we have going forward is keeping people engaged on Zoom, and we haven't really talked about that. It's getting boring. I mean, it's not boring. We're trying to do our best. We're changing the format, but we really need some more skills. And I'm working full time and doing this, and I've tried to do it on the weekends to learn some skills to get better at it. But boy, if we could have a really good action-packed technology person, people that could share some ideas on. I mean, I've noticed like polling is fun. We do lots of things in between. But I think we really need better skill set and training to keep people engaged right now, because that's where we're going to lose people, is that they can't shake hands anymore. So just a thought. I'd love to see it and some more collaboration where some of these people can share the ideas of what's working.
Thank you.
Okay, great. It's great idea. I will put that in next month. Something like that. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Anybody got any questions, man? Otherwise, I'll stop the recording.